Happy Tuesday. Here we go. Say it with me. Major League Baseball playoffs. That is right. Wild card action getting ready to take center stage in the sports world. Just about 4 hours from now, I believe just after 8 o'clock, we're going to have the first pitch as we look to the National League wild card first, as we wait for the Yankees and the A's to play tomorrow to figure out who's going to advance against the Red Sox. But in the meantime, tonight we've got baseball. So we're going to talk a little Major League Baseball, and I got to tell you, I'm a little proud of what they have done and how far they have come when it comes to promoting their playoff situation, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here in a minute. But we do want to thank a few people here making this all possible here today. Of course, our good friends at wagertalk.com. It really is your one-stop shop for everything that is sports handicapping and sports betting. They've got anywhere on that roster, anywhere from the top 10 to 20 professional sports handicappers from around the world, all at the site, waiting to be able to help you. A bunch of free picks, a bunch of free information. Do not make a decision before heading over to wagertalk.com and check out what they've got going on there. It'll save you a whole bunch of money in the long run, I can promise you that. And also our good friends at Miami Acura, the Miami Acura hotline, 855-WTF-2255. That is how you reach us here today. That's 855-WTF-2255. That's how you get into the WTF Sports TV studios. And we want to send a shout out to Jeremy, who's joining us here. Jeremy, how are you? Didn't mean to actually flip to that screen, so let me go back over and let's see if I can get rid of this. And I can't, so that's good. Oh, there we go. Much better there. Jeremy Dorsett, it's a pleasure to see you. And I don't know why that's doing that, Jeremy, so I apologize, because technology is a wonderful thing when it works, and right now it's not working. So I apologize, but I see you, Jeremy. October 2nd, 2 months, 29 days left, and yes, you're right about that. Time does fly. Can you believe it? Baseball is on the horizon. We won't be more than a couple of weeks before we're looking at the World Series, and who's it going to be? Are the Yankees going to make it? Are the upstart A's going to do it? Is it going to be the Cubs again? The Dodgers, the Rockies? Who is going to make it to the big dance? But I do want to say first and foremost that I'm very proud of Major League Baseball. I don't know what they did or why they've come this far, but they have come this far. And usually baseball, when it comes to unwritten rules, and we know this over the past years, baseball's not a lot of fun, and they've tried to take all of the good stuff out of baseball, the fun stuff, the bat flipping, the dancing, and all the stuff that actually makes baseball fun. they've done a wonderful job, especially the old-timers, the baseball purists, of trying to get rid of that in baseball. They're more interested in continuing to throw 98-mile-an-hour fastballs at people's heads in retaliation for, some guy getting hit on the ass in the game prior. But their promotion for the playoffs, and I'm going to play it for you guys if you haven't seen it, it really is. It's all about having fun, and it's so not what we have seen from Major League Baseball in the past, who tries to stifle anything that is a good time, but they didn't with this particular promotion, and this is what they've got rolling around on social media if you haven't seen it. Take a look.
They said rules are rules. Don't stop and stare.
Toss that bat 30 feet into the air.
Don't flip your bat. Respect the jersey. He didn't earn that right. They called him unprofessional. No celebrating. Keep your head down. Flashy, immature, showboat. They said it all.
You don't have to do that. Get a little tired of it.
It's something you do not do in baseball.
No more talk.
Damn.
Let the kids play.
It's just a new world.
Will you look at that shit? I mean, honestly, will you look at that? Baseball actually promoting fun. I never thought I would see it. Never thought I would get to the point where baseball would actually promote the younger generation, the bat flips, the having fun, the pointing the fingers. Even if you don't like baseball, you can't help but to watch that promo and not be excited that there is postseason baseball getting ready. October is here, and it begins tonight. So hats off to Major League Baseball for throwing that out there. Really cool stuff. I mean, that was pretty exciting. And you got Griffey Jr. in there, right? You had the kid making an appearance. Thought it was very well done, and if that is the direction Major League Baseball is planning on taking the game, I'm all for it, okay? I am all for it. Somebody at MLB headquarters finally realized that we probably shouldn't be listening to Goose Gossage and these old-timers who in all likelihood will be dying off very soon. Yeah, the whole baseball purist thing, let's move away from that. Give me more Yasiel Puig any day, celebrating, flipping bats, doing all sorts of good stuff. I'm all ready for that, and I'm ready for tonight as the Cubs are going to be hosting the Rockies, and it's going to be it's a win and you're in. I mean, maybe one of the best things that Major League Baseball has done with the sport is add this wild card game, this added layer of excitement, this kind of play and you're in situation, do or die. It's going to make, even if you didn't watch one baseball game all year, the whole do or die format that tonight is going to offer you, and then tomorrow at Yankee Stadium with the A's, you can't help but to be excited as a sports fan. You can't help but to be excited about watching these two teams go together. Now, if nobody has watched any baseball all year long and you don't know what's going on with the Cubs, what's going on with the Rockies, here's what you need to know, and this is how they got there. This is the consolation game because both the Rockies and the Chicago Cubs lost their 163rd game yesterday, so they didn't end up winning the division. They ended up losing them, the Rockies to the Dodgers and the Cubs to the Brewers. So the Cubs and the Rockies are playing tonight in Chicago, a win-and-you're-in situation. The Rockies are at a big disadvantage here, all right? The Rockies have pretty much, this is their third game in 3 days in 3 different time zones. All right. Chicago, on the other hand, played the last 8 or 9 games at home. So they, outside of going, I think, to the Chicago White Sox downtown there in Chicago for a 3-game set somewhere in there the last 2 weeks of the season, the Chicago Cubs have been home. They haven't traveled anywhere. They're home again tonight in this game, and yet the Rockies have had to travel all over the country in the last week or so. So a little bit of jet lag going on there. Keep that in mind. They are definitely at a distinct disadvantage having played 3 games in 3 days in 3 different time zones. And Sunday, I believe, they won the regular season finale at home. They lost the division tiebreak at Dodger Stadium yesterday, and now they've got to travel to the Central Time Zone to play at Wrigley Field. So the Cubs, meanwhile, like I said, been playing all their games at home the last 3 days. They'll sleep in their own beds. They don't have to worry about anything. So they also, both the Cubs and the Rockies tonight, are going to have their most reliable pitchers on the mound, which is good for both teams. Keep this kid's name on the tip of your tongue and remember this guy's name, Kyle Freeland. He's an 11-1 since June 21st. He's going to start for Colorado. And John Lester, who we all know his postseason history between the Red Sox and the Cubs, this is a guy that has been there. He has done that. He is going to throw for the Cubs. He's got a lifetime record of 9-7 with a 2.55 ERA in the playoffs. And this year he had 18 wins. He gives the Cubs another advantage, having that kind of experience on the mound. They are pretty much stacked in the lineups. Both of these two teams can score a boatload of runs. The Rockies do have an advantage in the bullpen. The Chicago Cubs bullpen is hot garbage. There's no way else to put it. They are atrocious. There is no Chapman coming out of the bullpen for them this year. The Cubs, very shaky. The Colorado Rockies, they have one of the best closers in a game, Wade Davis. He hasn't pitched since Friday. He's completely healthy and ready to go. So they have one of the best pitchers all year long, Kyle Freeland. The only difference with this Kyle Freeland is he was remarkably better, and this is hard to believe, he was remarkably better at home in Coors Field of all places. He had a better record at home than he did on the road. His ERA was almost a full point higher on the road than it was in Coors Field, if you can actually believe that. He's also going for the first time in his career on 3 days rest because he too did pitch over the weekend or Friday, I believe. He's only got 3 days rest. So this is going to be the first time for him to actually toe the rubber with not a full week's preparation or a full week's rest. So we'll keep an eye on that. If the Cubs have to go to the bullpen early, they need John Lester to go at least 7 innings. They need him 6.5, 7 innings. They need to stay out of that bullpen as much as possible if you are a Cubs fan. And if you are a Colorado Rockies fan, then you're hoping you can get to that bullpen. And you're hoping if you can get 5 or 6 innings out of Kyle Freeland, if he can be the Kyle Freeland he was for you all year long, then you have no problem going to that bullpen because that bullpen is a distinct advantage for the Colorado Rockies over the Chicago Cubs tonight. So this is going to be a fun game to watch. The whole thing with the Chicago Cubs, they've been doing it all year long. If they get out to a lead, and they get out to a lead early, that lineup can put up some. They can put up some runs. They've put up a lot of runs all year long. The Rockies are no slouch. Don't get me wrong. But again, 3 games, 3 different time zones, last 3 days. Their best pitcher going on 3 days rest. The bullpen is the most rested part of this organization. The bats are there, but this is a very comfortable feeling for Joe Madden and the Chicago Cubs tonight. 8:06, I believe, is going to be the first pitch in that game. It's going to be fun. And then the Yankees tomorrow, we learned that the Yankees are going to be starting, of all people, Luis Severino, the 19-game winner for the New York Yankees. That is right. Luis Severino is going to be taking the mound. A lot of Yankee fans were hoping for Happ to get the call or Tanaka. The Yankee fans, as much as they love Severino, they don't trust Severino because of the second half that he has had this year all over the place. 2 different pitchers. One in the guy in the first half of the season versus the guy in the second half of the season. 2 completely people in Luis Severino. They just don't know what they're going to get. But Boone has made the decision. They're going to go. Severino's going to start tomorrow at Yankee Stadium against the Oakland A's. He also said, I believe, that they are going to go with who is catching there. I believe Sanchez is going to be catching him as well tomorrow. I think they already had said that instead of Austin Romine. So it's when he's on Severino, very hard to hit. It's going to be very difficult for the Oakland A's. However, You just don't know what you're going to get with Luis Severino. It would be a great situation for the Yankees if they can get 5 or 6 out of him. We know what that bullpen is. It's going to be a very, very electric atmosphere in New York tomorrow for this A's-Yankees wild card win and you are in situation. I'm looking forward to it. Tonight is going to be fun to watch. Tomorrow's going to be even more fun to watch, but I know there are a lot of Yankee fans who are not sleeping well tonight knowing that Luis Severino is the guy that is going to take the mound and a guy that had a hard time keeping the ball in the park in Yankee Stadium. J.A. Happ was certainly my choice because J.A. Happ is a guy that historically has pitched and dominated in Yankee Stadium, and J.A. Happ doesn't usually watch the ball leave the ballpark. He's a guy that'll keep the ball down. He's a guy that you'll get a lot of ground balls, some fly balls, but he is not prone to the long ball, not like Severino has been or Hideki either, and that's also been a bit of a problem for them this year. But baseball's here, guys. It's going to be fun to watch. I can tell you that right now. Get ready. Cubs, Colorado Rockies tonight. Who had the Colorado Rockies? But get ready to watch that kid Freeland pitch. He's been one of the best pitchers all year long, 11-1 since June 21st, taking the mound there. All right. Also, last night, I want to talk about Patrick Mahomes real quick if we can, because we seem to have anointed him the greatest quarterback to ever play the game ever through 6 starts. Now, I will admit what this kid has done over the very short time that he has been in the league is pretty amazing. We watched a tale of 2 tapes there last night. Denver, I don't understand Denver. Vance Joseph, I don't think he's going to last in Denver as the head coach. I think he's completely out of his mind. Everything that you did well in the first half of that game, you pretty much abandoned in the second half of that game. So congratulations. You went away from the run game. Royce Freeman didn't nearly get as many touches as he did in the first half. And it was only a matter of time watching that game before you realized that Patrick Mahomes and the weapons that they have on the Kansas City Chiefs, they were going to make some damage. And Travis Kelce had made it through the third quarter without having a catch. A couple of drops, a couple of overthrows. You just knew Kelce was going to get started. You knew Hunt was going to get going with the running game. And sure enough, they lost Sammy Watkins early on with a hamstring injury, which really made it important to get Travis Kelce involved in the game, but the fourth quarter was just a different animal altogether. Patrick Mahomes threw for 304 yards. 77 of those 300 came on the last winning drive in the fourth quarter. A lot of people wanted to see, okay, your first 3 games, Kansas City, you were so far ahead so early, you kind of coasted, and this was your first true test on the road, hostile environment in Mile High. Could you get punched in the mouth, and could you respond? And I think we got the answer now. Hunt had 121 on the ground. He also had 54 receiving yards. The Chiefs have totaled actually 446 in the game, but they have now topped 440 yards of total offense for 3 straight times against the Broncos since 2013. No other team in the NFL has ever topped the 440-yard mark one time against Denver in that span. So this is an electric, high-octane Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. This is a lot of fun to watch as it unfolds. Young quarterback, and I guess we want so bad for these young quarterbacks to be relevant because it is a quarterback league, and we all know that. But we all realize that Aaron Rodgers, not the same guy. He's already playing hurt. And he's already bitching and moaning, pointing fingers at Mike McCarthy. Tom Brady's not going to be here very much. We've already got Peyton gone. So the NFL is kind of in that period where they need the youth, the quarterback youth, to start to rise above it. All right. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with a bunch of mediocre Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryans, Derek Carrs, and that's no way to run a league. And that's not really exciting for the fans. So they are looking for one of these young guns to be able to step up and really become the face of what the NFL is going to be for the next 10 to 15 years. And I think they're in pretty damn good hands with Patrick Mahomes. But you've got to keep in mind here, guys, that Patrick Mahomes, the reason Patrick Mahomes is doing what he's doing is because of Andy Reid. If Patrick Mahomes didn't have Andy Reid, if he had, let's say, Todd Bowles, I promise you, we would not be having the same conversation today like we are about this kid, because we know what this league is all about. This league is about coaching. And the better the coaching, the better chance your quarterback of being successful. Jeff Fisher, what did he do with Jared Goff? Well, I think we know what he did. He didn't do a damn thing with him. You bring in Sean McVay, you bring in an offensive-minded head coach, and voila, look at that. Jared Goff is one of the best and brightest that we have in the NFL. Andy Reid maneuvered, juggled, did what he had to do to be able to go up and get this kid in the draft. He knew what he wanted, and Andy Reid is one of the best when it comes to developing quarterbacks in the league. And if you are a franchise right now, like the Jets, with a defensive-minded head coach in Todd Bowles, or if you are the Buffalo Bills in their new coach, Todd McDermott, you guys are going to be in for there's going to be a problem. There's already been precedent set for what you do when you have defensive-minded head coaches and you go up and you spend high draft picks on what should be your future, and that being your quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. Sam Darnold, number 3 pick, you went up and get him. There is no way Todd Bowles survives the end of this year. I'm telling you, mark it down right now. I can tell you there is no way that Todd Bowles will survive the end of this year. The writing is already on the wall. We've already seen it happen in what they did in L.A. with Jared Goff. Nobody thought Jared Goff could play. Well, nobody thought he could play with Jeff Fisher as the head coach, but now everybody is foaming at the mouth with how excited they are when he's under Sean McVay. And that's the reality of it right now. Patrick Mahomes is only Patrick Mahomes right now because of Andy Reid. And owners know this, management knows this. So if you are a defensive-minded head coach in the NFL, yeah, your days are numbered. Why in the world would you want to? Why would you want to go out and get a defensive head coach? And I can tell you the same thing's going to happen in Arizona. The best thing that maybe Josh Rosen's got going for him is he plays in Arizona. There are no expectations, and nobody's really talking. But for his first NFL start, the kid was remarkably good for what he's dealing with that offensive line, and with a Steve Wilks, who, again, I even had to look it up, defensive-minded coach, defensive coordinator with the Carolina Panthers, came over. That's not going to work. Not when you have a young rookie quarterback who's got a lot of potential. Josh Rosen's got a lot of potential as you guys watch him. He's got no offensive line. He's got absolutely he's got some weapons in David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald, but with a bad offensive line, then you're looking at what's happening with the kid Allen in Buffalo. He's never going to survive either. That kid is going to get destroyed here. I know there were some comparisons all over social media about how the Bills could have gotten Patrick Mahomes. They traded away their picks so Kansas City could come up. Listen, you've got yourself a potential long-term starting franchise quarterback, but he will never be that with a defensive-minded head coach leading the charge. And that is going to be the MO over the next couple of years. These organizations and these franchises with these young quarterbacks, there are going to be some changes, and it's going to be with the head coach. Todd Bowles, bye-bye. Sean McDermott, bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out in Buffalo. And Steve Wilks, best of luck to you. If you last 2 years, I'll be amazed in Arizona. You two will be bye-bye. When you look at Mitchell Trubisky and what he did, I'm not necessarily sold on Trubisky. Yes, he threw 107 touchdown passes against Tampa. I do like the coach. I think Nagy is another one of these young offensive-minded guys that Trubisky he is better off with than anybody else. I do think he's got a ton of potential. I'm not necessarily sold on him yet. I am sold on Patrick Mahomes, but I'm only sold on Patrick Mahomes because he's with Andy Reid. So we've seen this. We've seen this before. There are only a handful of transcendent kind of guys that it doesn't make a difference who your coach is. Guys like Tom Brady, although that remains to be seen. I still think Tom Brady is as successful as he has been because of the guy that has been coaching him his entire career. But the Peyton Mannings of the world, I mean, you have a coach, those guys, Drew Brees, even Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going to end up, throwing for 200-plus yards this next game. He's going to pass Favre for the all-time leader, or Peyton Manning for the all-time leader in yardage. And Drew Brees, listen, Drew Brees wasn't necessarily as successful as he has been with Sean Payton as his head coach. So the writing is on the wall in the NFL. There is no way you can have young quarterbacks that you went out of your way, that you gave up to go and get in the draft. There is no way that you can prime these guys to be ready to be showtime without having an offensive-minded head coach who is willing to do what he has to do to be able to groom the kid. And Todd Bowles, Sean McDermott, that you're just not. It's not going to work. And I can promise you it's not going to continue to work. And we'll see what happens here moving forward. But Patrick Mahomes right now is the real deal. And the NFL is starving for one of these young guys to step it up and to become the face of the franchise. And by the way, thank you very much, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, bringing up Carson Wentz. Let's face it, Carson Wentz hit the jackpot with Doug Peterson. We know this. Jackpot. And not saying that the coach is always the answer, because there are some bad offensive-minded head coaches. But when you have young guys like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz and Mitchell Trubisky, you've got a problem. You've got a problem if it's a defensive-minded head coach, and you're not going to win a lot of games, and you're certainly not going to prep them. And it's just been, that's what we've learned over the last 10 years. The offensive-minded head coaches, that's where this league is going. It's not about defense anymore, and it's certainly not about having a defensive-minded head coach lead the organization. That is a recipe for disaster. Want to welcome you guys in if you're just joining us here on a Tuesday as we get ready for Major League Baseball. Want to thank WagerTalk.com once again for hanging out with us for all your WagerTalk.com needs. Just head over there. If you have any questions about the upcoming games this week, the early lines, where's the sharp money going, bunch of great free information, not to mention a whole bunch of free picks, and you've got a dozen to 2 dozen of the world's greatest sports handicappers available, and you'll have access to them simply by heading over to WagerTalk.com. So getting ready for a little baseball tonight. Want to say hello to Matthew. Matthew joining us via Periscope and Twitter. It's good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming by. Angela, always a pleasure to see you. Bill, part of the Bills Mafia in there. And yes, she too is also saying that McDermott's not going to last. That kid Josh Allen will die in Buffalo if you don't get McDermott out of there and bring in an offensive-minded head coach. And I don't know where you get these guys. I don't. Steve Sarkisian, for all the problems that he has had, he is a guy that is certainly going to be on the short list in a lot of people. He's another one of these, up-and-coming guys that will eventually be a head coach in the NFL. Not because he deserves it, but because he is looked at and considered one of the better offensive minds, and he's done a pretty good job with Matt Ryan thus far in Atlanta. You can't fault Atlanta for losing the games they've just lost. It's not the offensive. You can put up 40 points and you still lose. There's an issue with the defense, and that, again, Dan Quinn, falls on you, defensive-minded head coach in the NFL. That is a problem, and we see that's a problem. And I think Shanahan out in San Francisco, once Garoppolo gets back, he's in good hands there. It's kind of a shame because I would have really enjoyed watching what Shanahan would have been able to do with Garoppolo this year. But here it comes. Offensive-minded head coaches in the NFL, that's what it's all about, whether you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it. And Mike McCarthy is another guy there. I don't blame Mike McCarthy. I blame Aaron Rodgers because I think Aaron Rodgers is a bit of a head case on a lot of levels. All the talent in the world, but he's 35 years old. he played awful against that Buffalo team. And then got to the microphone and pissed and moaned and yelled and blamed and pointed at his head coach. And listen, you're the guy over there overthrowing everybody. You're the guy over there not completing the passes. And I know some of it has to do with the fact that you're really still working on one leg. But let's not get crazy here, Aaron. A lot of that stuff still falls back on you. So I hate guys that do that point at the head coach and point fingers at everybody else instead of taking responsibility, especially somebody who's been as long as Aaron Rodgers has been. Listen, you don't like the play call, change the damn play call. What is stopping you? I don't think I've ever remember a situation where Peyton Manning would get a call he didn't like and change it. All right, Peyton Manning was a guy that he would get a call and then he'd go out and read the defense and then he'd call whatever the hell he thought was going to be more successful. 35 years old, Aaron Rodgers. You've been playing this game for how long in this league, and you're still pointing fingers at your head coach? I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. 855-WTF-2255. That is the Miami Acura hotline. That is how you reach us here on the show. Coming up, you've got just some amazing things, storylines still coming from the U.S. Ryder Cup. Who knew golf was this exciting? We've got brawls, we've got finger pointing, we've got middle fingers, we got screw you, we've got eyeballs, we've got all sorts of crap coming from the Ryder Cup and the American team. It reads like drama we have not seen in a very, very long time. I'll give you the latest on what's happening there. We'll do that when we get back. But first, I do have to acknowledge, of course, some of our sponsors here on the show, Low Cost Airlines, Superior Cruise and Travel, and our good friends at Miami Acura, who encourage you to go take the new 2019 all-new redesigned RDX. Take it for a test drive. You will be amazed. It like drives itself. It's like taking for a drive in the living room. It really is the most comfortable, the smoothest riding car that you will ever get behind the wheel of. So take it for a test drive. The brand new RDX. That would be Miami Acura, South Dixie Highway, Palmetto Bay, for those of you in the 305. Outside of that, just simply call 855-564-4669. That's 855-564-4669. All right, we'll be back here in just about 2.5 minutes. But first, a word from Low Cost Airlines, Superior Cruise and Travel.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-761-1427. 800-761-1427. 800-761-1427. That's 800-761-1427.
Get ready to talk sports. It's the Say It With Me podcast. Now here's your host, Joe Raineri.
Welcome back in. Happy Tuesday to you. Major League Baseball wild card. Tonight, Cubs hosting the Colorado Rockies. 8:05 first pitch. Yankees getting ready for tomorrow night at home in the Bronx. Hosting those damn pesky Oakland A's. They just won't go away. What a year it has been. Billy Beane, Moneyball. You think that guy don't know what he's doing? You think that guy doesn't have a clue on how to build teams? You don't buy analytics? Your ass. All right, Billy Beane. The Oakland A's are living proof that analytics works. That is why every manager that you see. That's why Mike Scioscia has stepped down. That is why Paul Molitor was relieved earlier today from the Minnesota Twins. Paul Molitor. Could you imagine wanting to get rid of Paul Molitor as a baseball manager for your organization? Now, he is such a legend there that they actually offered him some sort of executive position. They weren't going to throw him out. But Paul Molitor, Mike Scioscia, this generation of, analytics, schmanalytics, who the hell needs it? I know better. I've played this game, 100 years. I've been, that same attitude. Yeah, it don't work anymore. And Mike Scioscia has been notorious about trying to battle the whole, these 30-some-odd-year-old mathematicians coming out of MIT and Harvard that are becoming general managers in baseball who have never picked up a ball, couldn't throw it more than 3 yards. But you know what? They know how to data input, and they know how to put it out. They know how to use the analytics and the mathematics of baseball now. And those are the guys that are making the lineups. Those are the guys that are making the decisions on who plays and who doesn't and who gets drafted and who gets traded for. And you either get on board with that or you will not be managing in Major League Baseball. It happened to Don Mattingly when he was with the Dodgers. That was all Don Mattingly did, and it was very well documented that Mattingly was one of these guys that was like, okay, who's playing tonight? I don't know. I'm waiting for the lineup from upstairs, and we're seeing more and more of that, and that's what baseball has become. It's become all about analytics, and Billy Beane has been at the forefront of this from the beginning. If you guys haven't seen Moneyball, what the hell are you waiting for? Probably one of the best baseball movies of all time. And it'll give you a really good idea of what they are doing in Oakland. And there is a reason why the Oakland A's are competitive right now with a whole bunch of guys that not one of you can name. 2 guys on the Oakland A's that are going to be in that starting lineup or who are in the bullpen or pitchers. You don't know them. Nobody knows them. Hell, their own families don't even know them. And certainly people in Oakland don't know them. But the bottom line is they're here, aren't they? They are getting ready to advance to possibly take on the Boston Red Sox in a division matchup there. I think Friday that starts, but they got to get past the Yankees first. But kudos to Billy Beane, who's been doing it a long, long time, and he has kind of changed the way baseball operates. If this was 10 years ago, no way in hell would guys like Paul Molitor and Scioscia, would they be out of a job right now. The game has changed, and it's become all about math and analytics, and if you don't like it, you don't have to work in baseball anymore. You can sit back and be the guy in the lawn chair telling those little pesky little bastards to get off your front lawn over there. Jeremy saying Don could be fired from the Marlins and JT Realmuto will be traded. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But again, Mattingly, I think, made peace with the whole idea of the analytics and the way baseball is run now. And the Marlins are not going to be any different. Derek Jeter's not going to be any different. They're not going to flip the script and become old-school baseball people at the Marlins. They've got a plan, and that plan is going to look very similar to what Billy Beane has done out in Oakland. They are going to draft certain guys that fit into their analytical system. They're going to trade for certain guys that fit into their analytical system. And I feel bad for Marlin fans, here in Miami, because they're looking at what Stanton's done this year with the Yankees. They're looking at what Christian Yelich has done, Marcell Ozuna with the Cardinals. They're all the guys they ended up getting rid of, the kinds of years that they had this year. And Marlin fans are going, there's no reason why we couldn't have been competing against the Atlanta Braves in the East for a championship, but it was never going to happen. I mean, it was never going to happen, especially, Peter, good to see you, man. It was never going to happen, in this day and age of baseball with new ownership coming in and doing those types of things. It just was never, ever, ever going to happen. But if you guys haven't seen it, if you're just joining us, the baseball tonight, this is the Major League Baseball preview. This is kind of the hype video that they've got going on for the games tonight, and it's so cool. It's so not what we would expect of Major League Baseball, because they actually promote everything that every old-time baseball purist hates: bat flips and high fives and screaming and showboating. Everything that Major League Baseball has tried to shy away from, the unwritten rules of baseball, is represented in this hype video that they have going on. So let me see if I can take a look at this and watch, and you tell me if you're not excited to watch baseball tonight.
They said rules are rules. Don't stop and stare.
Toss that bat 30 feet into the air.
Don't flip your bat. Respect the jersey. He didn't earn that right. They called him unprofessional. No celebrating. Keep your head down. Flashy, immature, showboat. They said it all.
You don't have to do that. Get a little tired of it.
It's something you do not do in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
No more talk. Let the kids play.
Look at the kid.
It's just a new world.
I mean, good Christ. Tell me that you're not excited to watch baseball tonight. I don't care if you didn't watch a damn game all year. That is everything baseball should be. That is everything we've been screaming for baseball to be. The fun stuff, to celebrate, to not these unwritten rules that are 100 years old that nobody cares about anymore. If you want baseball to survive and to thrive in the next generation, you need more of that. So I'm very proud of Major League Baseball for actually promoting and pushing and hyping that kind of video right now on social media, getting ready for tonight's wild card matchup in the National League. Cubs hosting the Colorado Rockies at 8 o'clock. So I was pretty damn impressed with that. That Major League Baseball is telling Goose Gossage and others to just sit in your lawn. You can yell at the kids coming across your lawn. Get off my lawn, you little bastards. But that is what you definitely need more of. There is, and Peter, always good to see you, Peter. Thank you very much. And this still is not working for me, and I apologize that I keep hitting a button and it's not working. So you know what? I'm not going to hit that button anymore, but I am going to say hello to Peter, who joins us via Facebook Live. Peter, always good to see you. Also, Jeffrey over there on YouTube, nice to see you. Cat25, pleasure to have you here on a Tuesday. And I got to tell you, did you guys see what happened during the Ryder Cup there and the American team, who it could not get any worse than what it was for the Americans there? You want to talk about total dysfunction. You think Thanksgiving dinners are bad at your house when you've got, the crazy uncle and the lunatic aunt, when, family members that there's a reason why you don't see them more than once or twice a year all show up under the same roof? Yeah, that's kind of what happened at the Ryder Cup is what appears to be going on. First, there was the story that broke about this poor woman who was at the Ryder Cup and ended up getting hit in the face with a drive from Brooks Koepka off the tee. And it ended up, and I want to make sure that I have the terminology here correct because it's actually terrible. It turns out that the woman's eyeball exploded. That's what they're saying. The woman's eyeball exploded, so she's actually gone blind, and now she's looking at suing everybody, the golf course, the Ryder Cup, the association, everybody. Here is what happened off the tee. And anybody that's been to a golf tournament, what you guys will know is that on the back of the ticket is pretty much enter at your own risk. And as long as these golfers yell "4" ahead of time when they hit their ball, then if the ball does crack your head open, it's not really, you're there on your own. It's kind of enter at your own risk. And that's kind of what happened. And this was the tee shot from Brooks Koepka that ended up hitting this poor woman and exploding her eyeball.
Is Koepka now? See, now he's already hit his tee shot. He's just up by the green, but not on the green. We know this thing's got the power. Pulled it. Oh, hit someone in the gallery. Hit someone on the knee and that'll be an easy chip. Lots of green.
Yeah, no, it didn't hit somebody in the knee. It hit her right in the face and then hit it in her eyeball. And now the woman is blind. And what they're saying is that not only did she lose her sight, but they're saying they broke the orbital socket. I mean, it was just the worst. Not a good situation for anybody involved. But unfortunately, don't think there's going to be much of a leg to stand on here in a lawsuit, given the fact that I go to the Honda Classic every year in South Florida in West Palm Beach, and it's clear on the back of those tickets that it says the minute that you enter into the grounds, you are pretty much do so at your own free will and at your own behest. And, if you end up getting knocked out by a, line drive or a wayward T-word shot, oh, wow, there's really nobody to blame but yourself. And that's the sad part about this is that I'm sure the golfing world is going to do something for this woman. Brooks Koepka has already reached out to her. He posted something on social media that his thoughts are with this woman and the family. He was very shaken up when it had happened at the Ryder Cup. But, man, having an eyeball explode off of a wayward tee shot is not good. Not a great situation at all, but I don't know how she's going to do with a lawsuit. And then we've got the other shenanigans going on with the team and finger pointing with Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth. And now we understand that not only is Brooks Koepka smashing people in the face with line drive tee shots or errant tee shots, but he also fought Dustin Johnson in the European team's locker room once it was over, once the tournament was over. These two guys were apparently invited into the locker room where they had to be separated, and a lot of people were very shaken up by it because these are two big dudes. They're also two very good friends who work out up in Jupiter, Florida together. They go to the same clinic there. They have the same trainers. They're very good friends, but something happened after the Ryder Cup where they had to be forcibly removed from going to blows together. Now, personally, I'll take Brooks Koepka. You see the size of that dude? That dude's a beast. Not that Dustin Johnson's a small guy at 6'4", 6'5". He's a big dude, too. But Brooks Koepka is, that dude could play middle linebacker with the Baltimore Ravens. He is a beast, all right? He is an absolute beast. But the report is, I guess, that it had something to do, and this is going to be a shocker, but it might have had something to do with Paulina Gretzky. That would be Dustin Johnson's fiancée or wife. I'm not sure. It's one or the other there, but it had something to do with the girlfriends. What a shock. You got two guys, really good friends, about to beat the living crap out of each other after the Ryder Cup, not because they sucked, but more because the fact that something happened with the girlfriends and that almost caused them to go to blows. So this is a story that will evolve over the week. I am sure we'll get to figure out exactly what that was all about. But then Patrick Reed. we know that he came out, did an article with the New York Times, and talked about how he was paired and benched with Tiger Woods, and he wasn't happy about it. He told the New York Times that he was clearly miffed as to why he wasn't paired with Jordan Spieth like he was a couple of years ago in the Ryder Cup, and those two were unbeatable that year when they had been paired together. He told the New York Times, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they would have paired me with Tiger Woods. Jordan Spieth didn't want to play with me. He wanted to play with his buddy Justin Thomas. Well, he also said, I don't think for somebody who has as much experience and success in the Ryder Cup, he said, I don't think it was very smart for those guys to sit me twice. A non-player member of the United States team has apparently told the New York Post that Patrick Reed is full of crap, okay? And he said that he wasn't blindsided by any of the decisions. He said that Jordan Reed actually, Patrick Reed rather, begged to play with Tiger Woods. Begged them to play with Tiger Woods. That this whole thing of him having no idea of why Jordan Spieth didn't want to play with him is complete crap. And now you've got Patrick Reed's girlfriend, she's also pretty fiery. She's blasting everybody and anybody on social media who's saying anything derogatory about him. It is a nightmare when I tell you a nightmare. So you've got Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka fighting in the European locker room afterwards. You've got Jordan Reed throwing, Patrick Reed rather. I don't know why I keep calling him Jordan Reed. You got Patrick Reed throwing bombs at anybody and everybody, that it's everyone else's fault but his own. And you've got other people going on record going, he's so full of crap. He asked and begged to play with Tiger Woods, and that's exactly what he got. So when I tell you total dysfunction, if you think your family dinners are an issue at Thanksgiving, that is nothing compared to what happened with this Ryder Cup team. It's absolutely hysterical. So keep that in mind as we move forward here. A bunch of just privileged golfers who can't seem to get along. Unbelievable. Jeremy, what do you got? What do you think Golden State will win the 4th NBA title? Yeah, well, it won't be the Lakers, I can tell you that. It definitely will not be the Lakers, and I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to get used to watching LeBron James. What the hell's his name? LeBron James. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get used to watching him in a gold uniform. I don't know. The whole thing is a little weird. It's going to take a little time to get used to, but I know he also has one of those I guess his production company has put together a show that's going to be airing tonight on ESPN. Is it a 30 for 30 or something? Something along those lines. LeBron's Hollywood career has officially begun. It's the only reason he's with the Lakers right now. LeBron is thinking post-career. I mean, what is he, 33, 34 years old? It's nice. He can play in L.A. It's a nice story. He's going to fill it. He's going to put asses in seats. But I can tell you right now, LeBron James is definitely he is not as committed to basketball and winning as he was in previous years. And it's not his fault. It's that life usually gets in the way with players at this point in their career. He's got kids. He's got a family. Kids going to school out there. His wife. There's a lot more going on there than just, than him wanting to win basketball games now. But he's a Laker, and it should be very interesting to see how that unfolds tonight. That is for sure. All right, and you got, of course, NBA preseason games happening, but tonight is all about Major League Baseball. Get ready for it. You've got the Cubs. You have got the Colorado Rockies, and keep in mind, this is going to be the third game in a row in the third different time zone for the Colorado Rockies. The Cubs have been home for the last 2 weeks, sleeping in their own bed. They got John Lester going for them tonight, old reliable. And Colorado has their ace, Kyle Freeland, going to take the mound. He's been 11-1 since June 21st. The key to this game is how fast can they get Lester out and get into that Cubs bullpen, because it is hot garbage. And if they knock Lester out, if Lester doesn't go at least 6 or 7 innings, they're in trouble. Chicago Cubs are in trouble. Then Colorado will win this game. If they can get 7 out of John Lester, then in all likelihood the Chicago Cubs will advance in the wild card game, and then they'll give it another shot for a World Series title. Both teams have plenty of firepower in the lineup, but as far as bullpens go, Wade Davis, the bullpen for the Colorado Rockies is far and away much better than anything they've got coming out for the Chicago Cubs. So good luck to John Lester. If he can make it to 7, they win. If he's out in 4, there's a good chance that the Colorado Rockies are going to run away with this game tonight. So keep it on there. That'll be fun to watch. And then we'll be back tomorrow also, 4 o'clock. We're going to talk Yankees and A's. It's the New York Yankees, Oakland A's, American League wild card game. Getting ready to take center stage tomorrow, so that'll be fun, too. The Bronx will be rocking. You guys have an amazing night. Enjoy the game. The baseball game is not often that we get Major League Baseball playoff action as exciting as this, but we got a game tonight. We got another one tomorrow night, so enjoy yourself. Be safe. Come back and join us tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We do it all over again. So have a great night, guys. Thanks for making us a part of it. And once again, wagertalk.com. Check it out. Before you lay a bet, go to wagertalk.com. Get all the free information and free picks you can. Have a great night.